Okay, honestly, it bothered me. What bothers me is saying Elden Ring DLC, or basically any game that is either DLC, remake, remaster, expansion, well, you understand. So basically now it is a thing, and as you can see here, best game of the year category, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. And I can tell you the moment I actually got to vote, and I mean, I had a feeling it's going to be there, but the moment I actually got to vote and I saw it, I just didn't want to vote for it. I just love this game, but I didn't want to vote for it. You got your recognition, you got your respect, and you got Game of the Year. Well, again, not the DLC specifically, but the base game, Elden Ring. And yeah, I thought about it immediately. I mean, when seeing other games, new games, these are the games that should be in this category, not other type of extension for other games or games the way before and they're improved in one way or another. In some way you might say, well, actually that's great. Those games can actually make kind of a comeback, you know, a nostalgic comeback in a way. So there is something spicy and exciting about that. Another thing is that, you know, if you look at, especially at Elden Ring, and just keep in mind, it doesn't mean that any game will kind of qualify to be in that list. It needs to be quite substantial expansion, DLC, remaster, remake to be included. So in favor of Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is that this is a massive expansion. It really feels like a game on its own. You can really get lost for so many hours into it, and if you compare it to other action RPG games, single player, it can count as a standalone game in a way. It is a massive expansion. It actually brought some amazing bosses, some of them probably among the most memorable ones in any Souls game. Now there's a different aspect to that. So imagine, for example, developer working so hard to deliver really an amazing DLC, right? Something really big that encompasses so many things compared even to the base game that it's actually made to enhance, improve, add to. But if that happens, shouldn't it be a category for that? I mean, I really like the idea to recognize this particular thing, but it should have its own category for it. Something that includes all the expansions, DLC, all this stuff, remastered, remakes, and all this stuff, and put them in their own category. So a category on its own would probably be the best thing to do here. But come on, having Elden Ring again in Game of the Year, it doesn't smell right, right? It doesn't smell right. Even though it was really big expansion, still. So just imagine a situation where Elden Ring, this DLC, actually snatches this award from other full games, new games, even new IPs. If I was a developer and kind of competing against a DLC, I would, in this best category in this Game Awards, I would think like I've been robbed. But the thing is that, you know, for me, Elden Ring is the best game ever made. And part of me really wants from this From Software being recognized by it. I really want to. Because again, this is my favorite game of all time. This game specifically is my favorite game of all time. And seeing a DLC, such a good DLC, also makes me, you know, appreciate From Software even more. But this is why I want a separate category for it. Not snatching a Game of the Year from another effort by a developer who created a full game. So I hope this will change. By the way, it's not just for Game of the Year, it's for every category. Now I also thought about it in another way. So let's say, for example, there's a remake and there's a new music from the remake, right? Let's say just for example. And how you actually, and there's only one category for a DLC, right? So what are we going to do, right? What, are going to be so many competing in that specific category? It would be too tight to actually put so many because there are going to be so many remakes and remasters and expansions and DLC. So only one can win in just a single category. How do you recognize this particular category anyway? For everything, but what if this specific DLC expansion really stand out in a specific category? So I think this particular thing, that's actually what made them, made them realize that it needs to be available for all categories, because you just can't stick it into a single category. Because you can't really generalize it, because there's so many things that the game can actually be done great and it need to be recognized in a specific category. But again, when we're talking about something general, like, you know, best game of the year, this is a category where I think a DLC shouldn't exist in. It would be great if it recognized for particular things like art direction, because again, some things can change a bit in a remake, for example. Music maybe change, improve, enhance. So these things I can understand. So I'm okay with that. But if you take something like best game of the year, like the game of the year, I think this category shouldn't be available for DLCs, only full games. That's my take. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about these points. Let's discuss it there. Thanks for watching.